Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Cody here again with another video, and we're going to dive into, this is going to be probably a longer video, and I just wanted to mention a lot of different things and how a lot of different movies and stuff have connected to this time period that we're in right now. I just want to focus on, if you haven't watched my prior videos about Pluto's return, about Jupiter, about Pluto, about plutonium, if you haven't seen any of that, you might want to go back and watch some of those videos. A lot of this stuff I'm going to mention here is going to be kind of is kind of gotten from that. This is kind of a progression of that information. So it's kind of important that you watch all my videos, to kind of understand where I'm coming from with all these current events that are happening. And this includes the Super Bowl, includes the Super Bowl halftime show, the UFC fight, Valentine's Day, and Pluto's return on the 22nd, and in all the dates pretty much spanning from this December when we had our solar eclipse. From that date until now, all the dates are, all the big events are lining up. Okay, so it's important that you understand what's happening. First of all, in my last videos, I've talked about plutonium. Let me go find it for you guys here. This is, like I said, I'm not going to go over it like I did in my other videos, but I just want you to know about Pluto's return and plutonium. Plutonium being the element that they used to make the first bomb. Okay, and then this quote is important. I've decoded this in my other videos. Okay, and I tied it to Cooper Kupp, the Super Bowl MVP, and the Super Bowl. Okay, and I tied it to that whole ritual of Cooper Kupp being pretty much a representation of Pluto. Okay, or plutonium. Okay, so remember that we currently are in the time period with the Russia-Ukraine thing, and so the whole bomb war narrative is big right now. So everything that I want to share in this video is basically based off of that concept, and also going back to the mythology of Zeus and Hades, and Pluto being Hades, Zeus being Jupiter. Okay, so it's important to understand all this stuff here on my other videos. Okay, but anyways, let me bring up first two shows, or one's a movie and one's a show. The first one is the show called The 100. Okay, this is a show about apocalypse that happens and pretty much leaves the entire planet uninhabitable, and so they have to go into space on arcs, like 12 ships, and they stay there for, I can't remember how many years they stay there. It probably says here in the synopsis, but if you guys haven't seen this show, I watched this show, so I'm pretty familiar with all of this. But again, it's 97 years after a nuclear apocalypse wipes out almost all life. Thousands of people now live in a space station. Okay. And then eventually what happens is they send 100 juvenile detainees to Earth to see if it's habitable again. And so this whole show is about a nuclear war that wipes out the planet, right? Now, this show, The 100, came out on March 19th, 2014. Now, I want to bring your attention to pi, okay, 3.14. Let me go over here. This is, okay, a site called Subidium, where you can look up where each digit appears in the string of pi, okay? This is a really important part of decoding, and a lot of people don't know about this yet in the decoding world. But if we look here, I just wanted to point out that you can see that the first, this gives you, I mean, you can look at any number in the string of pi. It goes quite high. I mean, I could type any number in here and it would tell me where it appears in the string. For instance, I typed in 53 and it appears at the 8th digit. So you count 8 digits in and you get 53. Okay, so obviously 5 is at the 8th digit and 3 is at the 9th digit. But if we look in the string of pi, we can find clues and numbers on how to tie things together, because pi is essentially how our world works, right? It's a circle, right? So it's infinity, right? And in reality, our reality is infinite, and so this can give us clues to put some pieces together whenever we are decoding. The first thing I want to point out is number 53 here. Okay, the reason I want to point that number out is because that's the 16th prime. Okay, and I'm going to show you how all that ties together here. But the first thing I want to point out is, any of you who know about pi, the first 3 digits of pi, if you count the first digit on the left side of the decimal, is 3.14, okay? Which is essentially the numbers 1, 3, and 4, okay? Now, an anagram of that number would be what I have here on the screen right now. Now, I want to tie all these things in together into our current state where we're at in this world, because all of them are playing a huge significance in our current place. The first thing I want to mention here is Don't Look Up. Now, Don't Look Up was a movie that came out on December 5th, 2021, one day after the total solar eclipse. The total solar eclipse was a huge event. Actually, that day, the crypto market crashed, and I believe that day was a big pivot point in our reality, because you also have to say that there was a couple other solar eclipses. There was a solar eclipse last June, and there was also one in 2020. Okay, but this one at the end of 2021 on December 4th was a very big, pivot point, I find, in our current events. So, anyways, we go and we see this movie. Don't Look Up. It starred Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay, and basically it's about a comet coming to hit Earth and destroying it. I mean, we've seen these kind of movies before, and it's just like, okay, Cody, what's the point? We've seen these movies so many times before. But the interesting thing about this movie is, and I want to thank Logan from Decode Your Reality for pointing this out, but in that movie, from the time they discover the comet to the time they say that it's going to hit, they say they have 6 months and 14 days until the comet hits after they discover it. That's a big date. Why? Because that's Trump's birthday. It's 6/14 is Trump's birthday. Okay, and I'm going to show you a little bit about that in a little bit. But first, I want to tie in all this stuff together so you guys can see these numbers. Okay, the first thing I want you to understand is you don't look up, which I just explained a little bit about. Okay, now you can see that's a 143. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is Cincinnati, Ohio. They were just in the Super Bowl, and also we are in the year of the tiger, which the tiger is related to Jupiter or Zeus. Okay, pretty much the same character. And the tiger being the striped, or the Jupiter being the striped planet, is related to the tiger. Okay, now look at this. Cincinnati, Ohio is also a 143. Okay, December 4th was the day of the solar eclipse. It's a 143. The December 4th eclipse is the one I'm talking about. Okay, you can see that solar eclipse is just a rearranging of these same numbers. It's a 134. Okay, now where plutonium and Pluto comes into this, if you watch my last videos, you'll be well aware that plutonium or Pluto was a big ritual during the Super Bowl. Okay, now Pluto the dog, which is a Disney character, which also ties into this. It's Mickey Mouse's dog, Pluto. If you type in Pluto the dog, it's also 143. Okay, so this ties in with the Super Bowl Pluto ritual and this upcoming Pluto's return on the 22nd. Now, in the Super Bowl ad, Arnold Schwarzenegger played Zeus, which is the equivalent of Jupiter, and he knocks out the power. And in that commercial, it's for BMW, and they play the song Electric Avenue, also a 143. Okay, Cooper Kupp, the Super Bowl MVP, okay, he was born on June 15th, which you can write 156. 9/11 is the 156 primes. I explained all about that in my previous videos, okay? But that is also a 143 when you type it out. Also, one I threw in here just for fun, because, I mean, all the stuff that we're talking about right now is on the World Wide Web. World Wide Web, 143, okay? Now, during the Super Bowl, Pete Davidson had a commercial, okay? And right now, Pete Davidson is big because Kanye is coming out with his album Donda 2 on Pluto's return, which is 2/22/22. And I made a post and a video about that you can watch, okay? But anyway, Pete Davidson, he is also a 134, okay? The day before the Super Bowl, Justin Bieber had a rapper shot at his Super Bowl party, which I've explained in other videos. He's a 134. Vesica Pisces, which is the shape of the football, 134. Israel Adesanya, he won his UFC fight the day before the Super Bowl, okay? The Ides of March, okay, which is basically on 3/15, March 15th. It's when the Roman holiday for paying back debts, okay? And this is, I'll tie this in with a rock singer in the next slide, okay? Underworld. Now, at the Super Bowl, a big theme was an underworld theme, okay? Because they had two levels. They had singers on a top level, and they had almost like a lower level, like an underworld type symbolism underneath. And also, the whole thing with Pluto being the equivalent of Hades, or the ruler of the underworld, okay? And then obviously Ripple XRP, which I believe, and most people believe, is going to be part of the new world currency system, okay? So that's just tying in. And XRP had a huge breakout earlier this month, and I think more is coming very soon. So anyway, all these 3.14s or 134 or 143, they all tie together, okay? Now, from here, I want to move on to the next slide, okay? Because a lot of these slides that I just showed you with the 134 and the 143, they also have 53s. As you can see, Pluto the dog, Israel Adesanya, solar eclipse, underworld, even 5-3 itself is 5-3, okay? 53 is the 16th prime, okay? Now, I want to start, first of all, I want to mention the Ides of March, which is on March 15th, okay? But this guy, Miles Kennedy, he's a rock singer. He's famous for playing with Alter Bridge and Slash. And he made two albums over the last 4 years. One in 2019, I believe. It was called Year of the Tiger, which is the year we're in right now. And he made another one called The Ides of March. And in the song Ides of March, he says, on that cold, cruel July, we didn't know that the pale horse would arrive. That's one of the lyrics, okay? Speaking of the pale horse in the book of Revelations, okay? But anyway, he says, beware the Ides of March in that. That's part of the lyrics also. He says, beware the Ides of March, okay? So we have him being tied into this just because he made two albums about this very time period that we're in. I told you about Israel Adesanya. Now, there was a simulation of a cyber attack on that day, on 12/9, December 9th, okay? And it was in Israel. And anyway, I tied Israel into that in my prior videos, but just know that he has, again, I showed you a lot of these same things in the prior one, which was an English ordinal, but now I'm showing you the full reduction cipher. And I'm showing how all these same words also have a 53, which is the 16th prime. So what I'm saying is, guys, these events are all tied together right now, and all these things are happening currently in the past couple weeks, right? The Super Bowl, the UFC fight, Miles Kennedy writing a song about this very time period, and many other things. Now, I want to move up here to the other 53 in Chaldean, because Heaven and Hell is the song that's going to be on Kanye's new album called Donda 2, okay? And you can see it has the 53 in Chaldean. Now, this ties in with the rest of these 53s, like Underworld. I told you the Super Bowl halftime show was pretty much a symbolism of heaven and hell, or as above, so below concept, right? Now, I want to move real quickly back to the 100 show, okay? Because in this show, if you go and you see some of the pictures for this show, you're going to see that they show almost like the falling angels. And just look at this, guys. This is the golden spiral, right? And the falling 100, who they send down to see if the world is inhabitable, okay? So it's like fallen angels. And we just had the Super Bowl in Los Angeles. And I've made other connections to this, but plutonium is involved with this, destruction and the fallen angels, okay? So anyways, back over here, we have the 153, guys, just like the rest of this stuff. All right, that's the 16th prime. Again, now I'm going to tie that in with the whole war narrative. D-Day is 16. Alexa, which is, I have heard that if you ask Alexa what's going to happen on Pluto's return, which is 2/22/22, she says that there will be an alien invasion. Okay, I heard that she says different things, but I've heard somebody say that she says that. So if anyone has an Alexa, I don't, but if anyone does, you can ask her and see if what she says. Okay. The other thing I want to point out is the 100. When you just type it out this way, it's a 16, which again, tying to this is the 53 is the 16th prime number. So it's essentially the same thing, guys. I mean, Aries is the god of war. The Ram just won the Super Bowl, right? Now here's these 15s can tie in because we are currently in the year of the tiger. In Chaldean, if you type in tiger, I'll just do it for you. 15 in Chaldean, guys. I just mentioned Ripple XRP. 15, guys. Okay, so we got 15s all over the place here. Alexa 15, the 115. Now, I want to transition down here to the 44s because this ties into plutonium. Let me type in plutonium. Oh, I wasn't typing. I can't type today, guys. Anyways, 44. Tying in with underworld and solar eclipse. Now, there's a lot of other words you can type in here for plutonium, like destruction, like explosion, like city of angels, and there's others too, but anyway, I show this in my other videos, but what I'm saying is the 44, plutonium equals 44, going back to destruction, explosion. We just had the Super Bowl in the city of angels. I just talked about the fallen angels with the 100, so I just want to tie all these things together and show you guys how all these events are coming together, and the numbers are clearly pointing to it. If you can put the pieces together, you can see the numbers are clearly coming to it, all right? Now, I want to do some date measurements for you guys because I think this is important, okay? So the first thing I want to mention is this date. This was the date that the show, the 100, premiered, okay? Now, if you go from this date to Pluto's return, you're going to get 7 years and 34 days, but you're also going to get 413 weeks. So remember, guys, another anagram of the 3.14, just like I showed you. Now, look at this, too. You have a 53. This is the 53rd day of the year, guys, just like I was showing you here. Look at this. The 100, the 50 is 53. Solar eclipse, underworld. I just showed you all this about the 53s, guys. And it just so happens that Pluto's return is on the 53rd day of the year, okay? And it has 413 weeks, an anagram of 3.14 pi. Another interesting number here is it's got the 2800 days, like Pluto is 28 in Chaldean. Okay, notice that the day it started it had 56 date numerology, and it was the 78th day of the year. The Rams won the Super Bowl, and they became 7-8 all time versus the Bengals. Okay, but here's the thing: is I wanted to point out this. So Logan from Decode Your Reality, he mentioned that if you talk about the movie Don't Look Up, the one I told you about with Jennifer Lawrence, Leonardo DiCaprio, about a comet hitting the Earth. Okay, it said that from the time they discovered the comet to the time that the comet was supposed to hit was going to be 6 months and 14 days. So now, if you do that math from the day of the release of that movie, the movie release date was on 12/5, which was December 5th. Okay, and if you do go 6 months and 14 days, which is Trump's birthday, by the way, he's born on 6/14, you're going to get this date, 6/19, which just so happens to be my birthday, guys, just so you guys know. But anyways, if you go from the date of the release of Don't Look Up and you go 6 months and 14 days for the time that they have until the comet hits, it ends up being this date. Okay. Now, if you measure from the release of the 100 to this day, to the 6 months 14 days from the release of Don't Look Up, look what you get, guys. You get 3,014 days. 3.14, guys. Not only do you get that, but you get the 99 tying to Jupiter, okay? And the 43, the ninth prime, or the ninth Fibonacci, sorry, 430 weeks. 43, if you take out the 0, is the ninth Fibonacci. So, again, 3.14. So you have another tie-in, just like I showed you from the last measurement, how it was, 430, or I can't remember exactly what it was, 431 weeks. Okay, but now let me show you another measurement. If you go from the date of, again, the date of the show premiering, the 100, which was 3/19, I just showed you that, and you go to the very last episode that they had, you're going to see, again, 341 weeks, guys. And notice you're going to get another 87 in here, because the 87 tying to the date it was released. Okay, it was 2,387 days that show was airing. Okay, also 78 months. Okay, just like the 78, guys. All right, so it premiered on a 78th day of the year, and it lasted 78 months. All right. Another interesting thing, if you go back to this other measurement I had up, you know how this date was this June 19th date that I pulled up from the measurement of the 614 days from the release of Don't Look Up, was June 19th is the 195th day of the year. Well, if you go over here, look at this, guys. 6/19. So if you go from the show itself, how long the show, the 100, actually lasted, it's 6 years, 19 in 195 days. Well, June 19th is the 195th day of the year. And look, June 6/19, guys. So it's coded right into this time period that this show lasted. Now, one more measurement. If you go from the ending of the 100 to the beginning of to the release of Don't Look Up, you get 431 days, guys. Another tie to the 3.14. You also get 61 weeks, and that 61 weeks being tied to reverse 16, just like the 16th prime number is 53. So you're going to get a lot of 1/6s too. So anyway, guys, I really just wanted to bring up these dates and how they all tied together. And I'm going to do more looking into this show, and also the connection to Don't Look Up. Because these shows, as I've showed in the measurements, are clearly tied together and pointing to this time period that we are currently in. And yeah, and notice it's got the teaser trailer was 119, like 9/11. So, anyways, this is just a lot of stuff I found since yesterday, guys, and I just want to tie it all together for you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry if it's a bit long, but I just wanted to get through all the information and be clear about it without being too confusing. So hopefully I made sense. And once again, guys, I thank you for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Many blessings.